J.
This is wisdom in flow, not just a name, but a sacred movement, a soul awakening, a call home.
J.
We're here to remember that we are more than stories, more than skin, more than survival. We are divine identities coded in stardust and soulfire. We live in alignment with the infinite, in rhythm with ancient wisdom, and in harmony with collective purpose. Our mission is to reveal the Christ within, to awaken the God seed in every soul, to equip a new humanity for sacred, relevant, and impactful engagement across every sphere of life. Here at Wi Fi, love is unconditional, trust is a frequency, faith is a force, and power flows where truth lives. This is Wisdom in Flow, where the divine rises and you remember who you've always been. Stay connected with us to live aligned, love deeply, and flow divinely. Our core values are divine love, radical oneness, conscious awakening, and transformative service. We believe that all of life flows from and within the universe's divine essence, a loving, omnipresent, and inclusive presence, expressed fully in every soul. Each person is a living temple of God, and our sacred practice is to see and express the divine in ourselves and all of life. This is love in action, where we affirm a unified world, with no soul is excluded, opposed by darkness, and no power stands outside of love. We equally believe in the urgency to awaken humanity to the good news of their redemption, the divine invitation to rise from the inferior expression of life to the most radiant, attractive, and abundant life possible. Our calling is to embody this truth and co create reality where spirit flows freely, purposefully, and powerfully. Father, Mother, God, the embodying presence of all life. May the force within me now become just and attentive to divine prompting, that I may always be awake to the power of your spiritual presence. Father, Mother, God, live my entire life into conscious union with you, renewing me daily in the spirit of love, forgiveness, and fullness of joy. In this body temple in which you live, let your good will shine forth from our aura, redeeming, consecrating, and perfecting all I see, touch, and relate with. All of the holy thoughts, my Father, Mother, God, take up the wings of the wind, and in the flash of lightning minister as angels to my soul. God, you are the light, the power, and the eternal blessing. In you I live always. To you be all glory forever. In the center of the universe, within the vastness of my soul, I evoke thee to come forth, O God of all life, all wisdom, all power, all love, and all splendor, to flourish through my laudable undertaking. I am one with thee, O great spirit of spirits, because the fullness of you embodies my soul. Let your good will shine forth. Let your power, love, and presence shine radiantly through me, guiding all my ways and divine ambitions to reveal the brightness of your day. Abiding in the center of you, most adorable God, and with my will and courage, I energized by a dream of beauty and power. My ways are filled with holy influence, as they give expression to all your divine attributes within me, in union with you, and as your power always works for me. Nothing in the entire universe opposes my good. All things work for the fulfillment of my will. The spirit of the air is ministering the life presence of God to me, renewing my soul, mind, and body. The spirit of the fire is ministering God's transforming and transmutating grace through me, making me bright, and I absorb holy learning from pain. The spirit of the water is ministering the strong grace of God Through my life, I am ever purified and reborn with the fullness of the God presence and the spirit of the earth. His mission is God's stabilizing love in my soul. In the fullness of my Godhood and radiantly perfect in the midst of the elements, I successfully create my will to the glory of God. O God, the flame of divine love and wisdom purifies my mind and will, and you have become the health of my soul, mind, and body. All of life is assembled working for my highest good, and my life has become the never-ending, ever-revealing glory of your mighty, magic presence. I take authority over my life and bless every condition I go through to reveal the greater good in my life. To you, O Father, Mother, God, the most holy, who is the vastness of my soul, be all praise and glory throughout ages. To your name, the might and power without end. Amen.
Welcome, beloved souls, into this sacred space of peace, purpose, and divine alignment. Let us begin by gently closing the eyes, allowing the body to soften. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Again, inhale deeply, receiving the breath of life, and exhale fully, releasing all tension and mental noise. With each breath, we are coming home to the stillness, the presence, the infinite now. We allow ourselves to drop from the mind into the heart space, becoming aware of the sacred presence that is always here. This is the presence of pure spirit, divine intelligence, the infinite one, by whatever name you choose, God, source, divine love. We are not seeking to become spiritual. We are remembering that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And in this remembrance, we realign the truth of our being, whole, worthy, empowered, connected. We are not here to get something. We are here to let something emerge. And so we open ourselves to the divine download, to inner guidance, to truth that liberates. Right here and right now, we acknowledge that the one life, perfect, whole, and complete, is expressing through us, as us, in us. I speak this word of truth, knowing that the presence of spirit is alive in every individual, in this space, online or in person. Each one is here by divine appointment, ready to be uplifted, expanded, and renewed. We release all thoughts of limitations, doubt, or fear. We affirm, I am receptive, I am available, I am aligned with the highest good. In the spirit of the divine entities, bearing this work, we become transformation, not just for ourselves, but for the collective soul of humanity. We open this service with holy expectation that transformation is not only possible, it is inevitable when we surrender to divine will. Now, in the vibration of this sacred intent, we enter a moment of stillness. Here beyond words, beyond thought, is the source of all. Here we listen not with our ears, but with our ear of the heart. Let the still, small voice guide you. Let divine love embrace you. Be still and know that all is within. As we return from this stillness, we bring with us a renewed awareness of our purpose. We bless this service, every speaker, singer, and soul that will share. We affirm that this together is sacred, powerful, and transformative. And so we say together, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Cheshire. Welcome to ourselves. I want us to take our minds back to what we were talking about last week. Just have a brief recap of what we shared, and then we proceed from there. Started to talk about choices in a reality field.
I think last week we spoke about we're still talking about reality, and I think for me, what's the take home for me was there are different possibilities or timelines, and we can pick and choose whichever one we want to make our reality. So the outcome of our lives or our life at the moment, it's based on our choices, and it could be different. We could have made different choices. We could have done, if the opposite or of what we are now, or we can still be who we are. I mean, there are thousands and millions of choices that we could make. So I think for me, what stood out for me was the fact that life is a choice, and we can make it whichever one. And that's where, to me, free will comes in. This morning I was reading something about free will, and that is it, the exact explanation for that I have the choice to choose whichever one timeline, whichever the events of my life. And I think we did say that you were going to look at choices versus desire this week. Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. So I know we've established by now that there is an information field, if you want to call it alternative space, that contains scripts of all possible events. That's when I highlighted the infinite points that we have on the graph. Every point has got unique coordinates, and so are choices. Infinite number of them. In as much as we have been blessed with the power of choice, how to choose is a problem for a lot of people. So in trying to bring this home, I would hone in on how to choose without strain and how to shift timelines without resistance and without any sort of violence. It's my aspiration, it's my desire that this teaching will land softly like rain on your heart and get edged in your soul. One of my mentors shared a story with me. I call it the parable of the two mornings. Inside each and every one of us, we live secretly in these worlds. So someone wakes up in the morning feeling irritated for no reason, feeling resentful, feeling crammed up in life, packed life. It's like life has packed and dumped stuff on you. That life itself feels like a very dull song or dull sentence. In that state, feeling that the world is very antagonistic towards you. Little things provoke you. Things you shouldn't get angry about gets you angry. Even hearing the dog bark even sounds like someone is trying to attack you. When you lose something and you can't find it, it feels like the whole world is conspiring against you. And looking at the trees, it presents to you a very gloomy picture of life. And your own habits even begin to feel like a chain or some shackles. And same person. And then comes the next morning, you wake up, the same world, yet it doesn't feel like the same world you were in yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
The song of the bird sounds like symphony in your ears. You look at light, you look at the sun through the window, and it feels like a miracle. Thoughts of water, even in the shower, feel so welcoming. And everything feels like it was just made for you. In the space of 24 hours, what changed? That you're looking at the same circumstances and you feel like a totally different person or two different worlds that you existed in. I've come to understand and appreciate that what changes is deeper than just circumstances. But the real change, the deeper change, is the line of reality that you live in, which is what you live inside your head. The lifeline, the lifeline you decide to shift to per time. This is what makes these teachings you're doing quite crucial. I said this year is all about alignment. Our reality is not what happens to us. But it is the quality of the world that meets each and every one of us. So I was sharing the rhythm of the parable of that guardian, the guardian story that I shared the last time. It's something that kind of awakens this thing in me. And you recall the guardian says, who is stopping you? Or what is stopping you? Each and every one of us is free to choose any destiny we so wish and we so desire. But the only freedom we truly have is the freedom of choice, as I've said. But how do we choose? How to choose is a challenge for a lot of people. And that's what makes these lessons key. We have the right to choose, but we fail to exercise it because we don't even understand what choosing means. How do we acquire that freedom? And to borrow that phrase again, he says, when you guess correctly how to choose, your apples will fall to the sky. I love that. Which in essence means your old physics of life, your conditioned mechanics of consciousness will be inverted. Your assumptions will break. Gravity itself will change towards you in that sense. You talked about fate as well. As Carl Jung says, that when the conscious, or when the subconscious is not lived consciously, we target, or we call it fate. Life is our lot, and we've got to accept it, endure it, try it, and try to be happy anyway. That's the fate, or the predetermined fate model, you see? And this, to an extent, can create stability. But I have come to appreciate that it can also create resignation and resentment towards life. And that is what brings us to places where we ask questions like, well, why is life unfair, and things like that. So that is predetermined fate. So we look at battle fate, which suggests that we create our destiny, or we create our lives. We create our reality by struggle, by fight, by grinding, by overcoming. And this also, like as I said, every single model that you think about, it offers a certain level of comfort. It offers a certain level of results. But is there an ultimate, I don't even want to use the word model, that has a quasi guarantee, because life is in a constant strive for equilibrium? So is there one that presents us something that we can work with, whether we feel like we are sailing with life or life is buffeting us? And this approach of battle fate, I feel, because I've been there, done that, it often breeds exhaustion, it breeds guilt, and presents life as being subtly cruel towards us. So you feel like if you're poor, if you're ill, if you're unlucky, it must be your fault. You need to fix yourself, you need to fix something. And all of these, both of these models, they burden the heart. And that's why I align with Transurfing, because I said this is all about alignment, which suggests that there is an infinite, endless alternatives in a quantum field. Not one script, many scripts. It's a library, not a single page. That's how reality manifests. An infinite variety of forms. So then we ask, whatever reality we choose, have come to identify, or whatever worldview you choose, let me put it that way, reality will often seem to confirm it, because we know, and we have established in this place, our consciousness is the world pushed out. What you see on the outside is a projection from within. The world is a mirror, and it reflects our own projections. It gives us feedback of what we need to look at, what we need to adjust. And these things should not terrify us. They shouldn't throw us into a chaotic thrill. If you choose life is harsh, you will find proof for it. Confirmation bias. If you choose and believe that life supports you, you are going to find the proof for it. If you choose everything is meaningless, well, life will reflect that tone. And if you choose that everything is teaching, everything has got a lesson that you need to learn, life will remember. Well, life is going to mirror that as well. This is no moralization. Consciousness is mechanics. I'm a scientist, so permit me to say that. A transurfing will say, it's not about arguing about which model is the absolute truth. It goes way beyond that. Instead, ask yourself, which model makes me free? Which model produces a life that you can actually live? Which model offers you the space to breathe? So we're talking about choices versus desire. How to shift timelines without attempting to force reality. Is wanting the same as choosing? Let's just look at that for a bit. To want and to choose, are they the same?
Yeah, two different verbs, aren't they?
Obviously, apart from semantics.
One is a verb and the other is a what? I don't know what wanting is. To want.
Volition. Wanting and choosing. I want. I choose.
One precedes the other.
In what order?
Wanting, and then you make a choice.
But so you can want and not choose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Has anyone else got any thoughts? Anyone else? Okay. So life has taught me something. That most people live in wishing. Which is emotional, but it comes with a lot of emotional intensity, but contradicts our energy. As Abdullah says. So we are saying something, we are excited about something in the head, but we are resonating something totally different in our feelings. Energetic contradiction. So wishing often says, I want it because I don't have it. I desire it because it appears life is currently denying it me. And think about that when we talk about healing and vitality. See? And I was teaching Friday on re-examine the narratives that it appears to be the trap for many, where when we even express desire, it is inadvertently an affirmation or a confirmation of the lack of that which we are desiring, isn't it? If you have it, would you want it? I need it because without it, I feel I am incomplete. So then it becomes a need. So needing, wanting, desiring. And in all of these, the dominant signal is not abundance, but the dominant signal is lack. To want healing is in essence an affirmation that healing is missing, isn't it? Exactly. So how do we experience the shift? And that's where transurfing comes in. A dream does not qualify as a choice. Wishes are often fantasies in our minds. Abdullah's thoughts on living from the wishes fulfilled align with that. As I said, often we burden ourselves with needing to make that one choice that is eternally satisfactory, that is eternally justified. There's nothing like that. Life is so dynamic. That's why I don't burden myself with making a choice, making a decision that ends up being eternally the right decision. No. Whatever choices we make today are as permitted by the knowledge that is available to us per time. So don't burden yourself. Per the understanding that is available to you in the current space, per what your inner conditions are, make choices and stand with it. See how the outcomes evolved, and if you need to test and adjust, you do so. I find that more liberating. It doesn't put you in inertia. Not acting because you want to make that. And I live in an agile environment. I have a bit of understanding about DevOps, and I import that into my living. You see? So we make a phone, or we develop software. When we develop a software, we cannot make the software perfect in every sense. Once we have covered all the must-haves and a bit of the should-haves, we throw it out there. We let people use it. We test it. We find issues. We find issues with it. We find bugs. We fix the bugs. We enhance it. We make it better. And we are constantly upgrading it. 5 years down the line, you look at the motor that you currently have, and it looks nothing like where we started from. That is life. So that's why we have, to borrow Buckminster Fuller's words, life hasn't given us a right foot and a wrong foot. We have a right foot and a left foot. You take steps with the right, you correct with the left. And so long as you move in, you will have balance. So a choice is a settled orientation, a lived inner decision. So in Wi-Fi language, we could say that desire begs, but choice moves. Don't be paralyzed by your conditions. Don't be paralyzed by thinking. Don't be paralyzed by analysis. See, fighting reality keeps you locked in the same space. I will bring back the analogy of the art gallery. You don't walk into an art gallery and start rearranging the exhibits. You just gravitate. You kind of gravitate towards the art that you love, and the ones you don't love, you just ignore it. You understand? You may hate the painting in front of you, but you are not the owner of the room. So what do? You turn around and you walk into another room, or you walk to another picture, you walk to another space. Don't burden yourself trying to rearrange reality in a way that suits your okayness. Stop trying to edit. Just give up editing your current timeline through like emotional warfare. I consider that very draining. Because when we fight what we dislike, we can only keep thinking about it. You keep feeding it. For you to not like something, you need to create the reality or the presence of that thing. How can I hate an orange when I haven't seen an orange before? You have to create the reality and the presence of something to express your dislike towards it. And we have learned this. That whenever we say we don't like something and you hate something, you detest something, in essence, you are affirming the reality and the essence of that particular thing. And how the universe registers it is that you want the occasion to express that dislike, so you keep getting it. We know it, we live it. The things that you don't like in people, they are the same things they do. Because you have become obsessive about not liking it. So the universe will give you tons and tons of opportunities to express yourself in that fashion. It's that simple. That's why most of us don't get it. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated. Life has not thrown us into a space of despair. What you fight, you feed. What you fight, you orbit. And it's just going to dictate how your energy cycles. It's subtle but a life-changing principle. What you resist, you keep close. You can only resist something because it's close to you, isn't it? If it's not close, how do you offer it resistance? So what we resist is our resistance is just our affirmation to life that we want to keep this close. What you obsess over, you are going to stay tuned to. It's as simple as that. So the practice is not denial. That you have to, just thinking back to the analogy, you move, you switch timelines, you reselect. What does Tesla say? Your favorite quote.
If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequencies, and vibration.
Exactly. Resonance, frequency. When you repeatedly dwell on something, fearfully, whether fearfully or lovingly, your mind sets that frequency.
Can I share something quickly?
Yeah, go on.
You know, was it yesterday or when did I send you a message that I feel sad, I don't know why.
It was 2 days ago.
Yes. And saying what you're saying just brought back memories of what it really felt like. But I was just there feeling sad for no reason. Feeling like, emotions, sad, everything you described, the world is against you, kind of thing. I'm like, where is it? And the difference, where is this coming from? Because in me, in my spirit, that's not how I'm really feeling. But it was like,
it's like you are just taken over and overwhelmed by something you can't put finger on.
You can't put finger on, but at the same time, it wasn't really me. It wasn't me. That's not me. Then I thought, but I was like, I kept the whole day, I kept thinking about it. And I was like, where is this coming from? Have I had this feeling before? And I thought about it. I was like, yes. In the past, if every now and then I get that feeling, and I kind of get consumed in it until it goes away by itself. But this time around, because I think I'm a bit more aware, I'm a bit more conscious. So when it came, it was like a battle between me and that emotion, because it's not what I do. And then eventually, in the evening, I'm like, I'm not going to sleep with this feeling. I just laid there, did my prayers, everything, my meditation, and then I put an affirmation on, and I kept repeating to myself, divine love, is mine. Divine love is mine. I just kept saying that. And then I woke up, as you said, you woke up the next morning as if, where did this feel? It's like, oh, the world is my oyster. I'm flying away. But, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what we go through every day. The difference for me is being conscious of it. And like, you know what? No, this is not it. This is not me. I'm not giving my heart to it, because when that feeling comes, most of the time we put our emotion, we give ourselves to it, we become one with it, and then it really, really drains us. Yeah.
Thank you. See, and as I said, when you repeatedly dwell on something, whether fearfully or lovingly, that's how you set a frequency or that's how you set that particular thing as a frequency. And that frequency aligns you with a sector of the alternative space that matches it. So persistent hostility will meet hostility. Persistent dissatisfaction will discover more dissatisfaction. Persistent expectations of failure will find scripts where failure unfolds. Persistent unlovingness will discover more unlovingness. Persistent trust will begin to notice doors that are invisible before. So it is important for us to keep it wise and grounded, as I always say. This is not personally saying that you are, it's not like you invented the galaxies or you invented the universe or anything like that. It's saying reality is co-created. I believe that as man, we are architects of our own destiny. Reality is co-created within a shared field, and your personal lifeline is your personal track through life. It's a personal track through life. So we look at it. A tourist and a homeless person can stand in the same city. Yeah? Yet, they will live entirely different worlds. If you're a tourist in New York and a homeless person in New York with all the lights and everything, it is the same environment but the pair of them will have totally different experiences. Same location. That is how I think about reality. Same analogy of one who in the midst of the dark sees a rope and assumes it's a snake, and the one who knows for sure that there's no snake there, is just a rope. Same thing, same location, but different script, and the experience of the scenery will be different. And that's where I come from. We all collectively, we contribute to the world, to this world field, and each person rides a lifeline consistent with their dominant state per time. As I said, as we know, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, is a statement, is a principle that almost every spiritual persuasion accepts, because it is true. As within, as the Hermetics say, so without, as above, so within. There was called it beneath. We control more than we think. It's a paradox, though. Even though we may feel like we don't control how we think, we control more than we think we do control. You can't just, sometimes we get overly naive. You can't just simply sit and imagine and expect the world to obey instantly. Yes, thought matters, but thought goes beyond mental chatter. How do we choose thoughts? You've got no, as we sat here, we have taught this over and again. You have no clue the next thought that is going to hit you, but you have every responsibility over how you flirt with that thought. That is where the choosing comes in. You cannot determine the next molecule of air or oxygen that is going to hit your nostrils. But you can determine how long you're breathing in and how long you're breathing out. Are you with me?
Yes.
So by thought here, what I'm referring to is your inner posture, emotional baseline, the assumptions of identity, what you repeatedly or continuously return to, and the things that feel normal to you. It's not a call to an obsessive visualization. No. But a quiet power of returning to who you've always been again and again. To the inner stance or the inner states that reflects the life you are constantly choosing. So I have a very simple formula. I don't fight. I simply select. Think back to the mirror principle. Stop fighting the mirror. You select the reflection by becoming the image. Becoming the image doesn't mean you are pretending. No. By releasing every addiction to conflict, every addiction to strife, every addiction to our resistance, withdrawing the importance from what we fear. Sometimes we make the things we fear too important. Your disengagement from the script you don't want to sponsor anymore, and living from the inner decision that the alternative you want, the alternative state you desire, the alternative state you believe is originally you or authentically you, is available, and you can step into it without stress, without strife. I've said it over and again that I don't believe in luck, because luck will only carry a man over a ditch if he jumps well. If you don't jump well, you are not lucky. If you jump well, you are lucky. You know, because the deepest psychological slavery is not bad luck. It is the belief that my only option is to endure this or is to struggle. Consider how you choose. Because that's what transurfing offers us. We've walked through the gates. Coming to accept that reality is a living field. There are alternatives and there are lifelines. We've considered that fate is a library, it's not a single page. We've looked at choices versus wishes. Shifting by risk selecting instead of fighting, conflicting, and striving and resisting. Do we have any questions? I can make this as long as a year's worth of discussions, and I can make it as short as 60 seconds or 60 minutes. But the whole point is, I just want us to grasp the core of it. It's not merely events. Any questions, any additions, and then we wrap up.
think no question from me.
You got no question? It's key that we understand how choices work. So actions, results, reality. Samuel, Jay.
Yeah.
Any question?
Not that I can think of now.
Okay. Because like sometimes when we talk about this, I was having a chat with someone the other day, and he was like, "Oh, are you not trying to say that?" I know every time people make that statement, I just get a bit edgy. It's not that this is not a call to, you know, the strange freedom of choice, as I say. It's not a freedom to manipulate reality like a magician. It's not magic. It's something I believe more elegant than that. It's a selection among, or as I call it, among a system of alternatives which are already ready. If you walk into a supermarket and you're looking at a shelf filled with countless products, you do not manufacture the products. You only choose amongst them. That's reality works in a similar fashion. The infinite space, the alternative space already contains every script. And our consciousness selects which script we want to become active. But the secret is to understand that your choices must be consistent with your inner state. If not, you will experience suffering. If your thoughts remain dominated by fear, frustration, and resistance, your energy will constantly align you with lifelines that contain some of those same qualities. The circumstances will not then your circumstances will just reinforce your inner states. The world is not hostile. So don't choose to remain on the path of hostility. Shift. And that shift may not necessarily happen with some kind of dramatic fireworks. I've come to experience and appreciate that it's often very, very subtle. It occurs subtly, and then you look back and you realize the shift. Your attitude changes. Your emotional baseline becomes more stable. You realize you would have released the struggle or the habit of struggling against everything. And then suddenly you gradually realize that you find yourself attracting and interacting with different circumstances. Different people enter your life. You look back and the same, in quotes, ugly people, ugly stinging people are no longer there. Different opportunities emerge. The script changes. And from the outside, your life will look to someone like a coincidence. But from the inside, you know that you have been aligned. The esoterics, and that's the angle that we look at it from. Loads of mystical traditions have hinted at this generations. So we are not sharing anything new. The universe is mental, the Hermetics say, isn't it? Where thought influences manifestations. In Eastern Oriental traditions, you talk about karma. Karma as a momentum of consciousness. It's not punishment. It's a momentum of consciousness.
It's cause and effect.
Or when you hit a heightened zone, cause and effect. Cause and effect. As I say. So we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are aligned with. We are just capturing these using modern metaphors. That is the same principle. Reality is not static. It is responsive to your inner state. Bless. Shall we just allow ourselves some moments of reflection? When everything you've heard this afternoon, how has it come through? What has it confirmed for you? What has it conflicted with you? What has it opened up? What has it opened you up to differently? What has it reaffirmed? I have embraced the fact that desire alone cannot shift my paths. Choice can. How do I choose? When we learn how to rightly choose, our apples fall to the sky, says. Reflect on this. When the nature of choice becomes clear, something remarkable begins to happen in our lives. Life no longer feels like a battle. You no longer try to break down doors. Instead, we discover corridors that we have never noticed before. We experience the extraordinary. You are never trapped in a single destiny. You only chose to walk in one corridor, whereas you were in a palace of infinite rooms. Shift. Open another door. And sit with this question. I'll give you some prompts and I want you to just sit with it or with them. I know we know how to get ourselves into our states. Observing breathing happen. If reality truly contains countless alternatives, just sit with it. If reality truly contains countless alternatives, then what? If timelines truly branch into infinite directions, then what? The question is no longer how do I force reality to obey me? No. But which reality am I choosing per time? Just sit with it. And now I pray. Infinite presence, O great Holy Mother, Father, surrender every name that limits you in me. Just follow with me. And in the soul of everyone connected with this mandate, every soul under the influence of my voice and love, I release every label, every rule, every image that mind has mistaken for identity. I love love to befriend me so completely that all false forms dissolve in its fire. I release every cleansing to any thought of who I thought I was. Allowing ourselves to be absorbed and rested in you as our becoming. And beyond that, claiming that we have always been in you. The lower and the lesser self falls away without fear, without regret, without resistance. And in this holy unmaking, truth restores us as itself, bold and tenacious. In this gentle undoing, we remember self. We stand now unbound, known by, in, and as love, and named by the eternal and absolute truth. We walk in this liberty in which we have been made free by the Christ that is awoken and arisen in us, the Son of Righteousness. And so it is. O great and mighty ones, upon whom we call and who answers, the work of perfection is done and complete. We do not seek to dispatch you, but that you remain in the discharge of your duties until humanity is awakened to the truth about their own divinity. And until that work is complete, leave, praise, and give thanks until the very end. From the place wherein God is God as each and every one of us, from the place wherein we are the eternal medicine for the magnificence, the conscious release of all humanity, from the place of love, purity, soundness, and serenity, pure and utter serendipity. I bless you. I bless you. And God bless you. Shalom. Peace as you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, darling.